Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's podcast. We're going to be talking a little bit about system preferences today. There are so many things on your computer that you can change to make it personal for you, and we're going to go over a lot of those that you can have, as well as if there's things that you just are not sure how to change. The likelihood is most of those will be in system preferences. So if you can just follow me on the screen, I'm going to go down to my dock, and you'll see this app down here that looks like the inside of a clock. It's called System Preferences, and I click it. You'll see System Preferences come up. There's 5 different levels. You have the personal, hardware, internet and wireless, system, and then other. We're going to mainly talk about personal right now. In the general settings, as I click on it, it will give me the option of how I can change my appearance, some of my scrolling options and things of that such. I have 2 ways to go back. I can click Show All, and it'll return me to the dock, to the app, or I can hit the back arrow. The next one is Desktop and Screensaver. Most of you have probably figured this out by now, but if you haven't, this is how you can change your desktop and screensaver. You toggle between the 2 options at the bottom or at the top of the screen, and it gives you the different components. There's a lot of different things that you can put on here depending on which operating system you're running from. Also, you can look in specific folders or in iPhoto to use very specific pictures for your desktop changing. The next button is your dock. This gives you the option to change the magnification of the dock. You can see as I scroll and change. Also, or the size, the magnification button. As I turn that off and I scroll across my apps, they all stay the same. But if you're like me and you like to know exactly where your mouse is, it magnifies the app that you're specifically on, and also put your name. There's multiple other things you can do. Animate while they open. You can hide and show your dock. I think the indicator lights is very important. As you can tell, I'm currently running iTunes, System Preferences, and QuickTime. Also, my Finder is running as well, and that gives me a few understanding to know how much is running on my computer, and really allows for me to keep up with how much memory and space, or how much memory is being occupied by my computer. The next one is Mission Control, and I think like many of you have talked about, in Mission Control, it allows you to have some keyboard shortcuts and some hot corners. Hot corners is a brief component that we'll talk about in another episode. But moving on, our language and text. Obviously, if you are doing this and your primary language is English, it should be selected initially when you set your computer up. But if you're working in 2 different languages, you can change the order preferences and move them on. Moving on to security and privacy, these give you a variety of different options considering your firewalls, your file vault, and things of that such. Unless you are really familiar with what these options are, I highly recommend not using them. The next one is Spotlight. Spotlight is an incredible app we've already talked about, but this gives you the applications and different places that you want Spotlight to check. There's also some privacy in there that you can have prevent Spotlight from searching some of these locations. The next is Notifications, and this allows your screen this is new to Mountain Lion, that if you have some reminders or your FaceTime or things in Safari that need to be updated and give you some alerts, just like you would on an iOS device, an iPhone or iPad, things like that, then this area has that function for you. So that's really the top line for system preferences. Moving on to hardware. Many of you who have the MacBook Airs don't have CD or DVD drives. You can get those plugged in for a USB port. The display function would be if you were presenting and you want to have display and color. Once you're plugged into an LCD projector, there'll be a middle button that says Arrangement. That'll be important for you to tell which is your primary, what's your secondary display, and just the different sizes from it. Your energy saver is also your key settings. Currently, those are disabled on all your MacBook Airs. We've set those to what we think is the best setting. I'm going to skip keyboard and mouse. Keyboard, I'll just give you a real quick response. It gives you your keyboard shortcuts and lets you know what they are. You can also create some new shortcuts, I believe, and have some other ones in there, and change your shortcuts. The other thing is in the Magic Mouse, you do have the permission to put a mouse USB or even corded to your computer, Bluetooth as well. The trackpad, there isn't one hooked up to the computer that I'm using right now, but we'll come back and do a trackpad from another screen. Your printers and scanners, and as well as your sound. It gives you just what's connected to your computer. Currently, I have one printer connected to this. Allows for where I can set up and do those, and then again, sound, different volume in, volume out, your output, your input, and some different effects. So those are the first couple lines of system preferences. If you have any more questions, please feel free to come by, send an email, or get in touch with us. And again, if you're not sure where things are, why don't you check system preferences.